Okay, welcome to this today's lecture about statistics, and today's topic is what is the actual difference between p-value and the level of statistical significance. So the key question for today is there too much people on Times Square in New York? So how do you decide it? Well, first of all, you start by deciding what is too many people. And I would suggest, let's say, 250,000 people is just too much. So if it's below that, it's okay. If it's more, I would say it's too much. I have then carefully made measurements of how many people actually pass through Times Square every day. And it turns out that around 300,000 people seem to pass by walking on Times Square, and another 115,000 passing by on the tourist buses and cars, which makes it up to approximately a bit more than 400,000 people every day. 400,000 is more than 250,000. So that means, according to my decision rule, it's actually too much people on Times Square. So how does this apply to statistics? Well, we usually set up a level of significance, which we usually set as 0.05. And then we take all our data, we make all our measurements, and we calculate the p-value. So this level of significance is not calculated, it's not measured, it's a decision. So I decided 250,000 people every day is just too much. That was not something I measured, that was a decision. The same way, the level of significance is just simply a decision. The p-value, on the other hand, is something you calculate from data. The p-value will correspond to my measurements of the number of people actually passing by Times Square every day. Times Square is a busy place, maybe too busy. Nice place, but too busy. So that means the next stats lecture will be held in a somewhat calmer place. So one of you who still are sane may wonder, why have a statistics lecture at Times Square? Well, a colleague of mine challenged me and said, if you have a statistics lecture in Times Square, I will lobby to try and get you the Nobel Peace Prize. So Daniel, I guess the ball is in your corner. And for the rest of you, have a nice day. Thanks. Bye from Times Square.